they were showing like we were subject to Egypt. So they show the same thing as women being subject to men. That's on the walls of Kemet. That's how they operated. But you got Nickbos running around now trying to tell you that that's not how Egypt was, right? And they're trying to tell you that because they're trying to make us feel good about the fact that we've grown up and raised by single mothers, right? At a larger and a higher rate than any other culture, right? That's all that is, right? It's not real. That's all the curses of Deuteronomy 28. So read that.
All right, it's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
He shall leave the remnant of his children. Right? Read, keep going.
Verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
So give me Ezekiel 4, right? So it says, because he has nothing left in the siege, in the straitness, when his enemies shall distress him. Here's the interesting thing. When you look at the term Mizraim Matazarian, which is the Hebrew word for Egypt, it means the place of dual or double straits, right? You're in double strait. You're in like a serious hardship, right? So when you deal with the term straitness, it's hardship. So you got people that are going around saying, see, they ain't got nothing to do with what y'all are going through. That's got to do with 70 AD, but 70 AD was a time for that. There were other times of that too, but that's now as well. We're in straightness now, right? And in straightness, niggas forget their kids because of the hardness of their straightness. That's what the curses are telling us. So we experience that, right? Dude just isn't at the top of the world and forgets about his kids, right? It's usually because of the hardships that come with provisions, right? That dudes get weak and don't take care of the kids, and a lot of that got to do with the plantation politics as well. All of this is Deuteronomy 28, our whole lives, right? So read that 4 and start that. Let me see. No. Ezekiel 4 and let's start right there with 3. Go ahead.
It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 4, verse 3. Moreover, take thou unto thee an iron pan, and set it for a wall of iron between thee and the city, and set thy face against it, and it shall be besieged, and thou shalt lay siege against it. This shall be a sign to the house of Israel.
Right. So literally, the Most High commanded Ezekiel, hold that what you got, Ezekiel to make a G.I. Joe Lego Israel, essentially, and then attack it to symbolize Israel would be besieged or Israel would be attacked. Right? Now watch this. Keep going.
Verse 4. Lie thou also upon thy left side, and lay the iniquity of the house of Israel upon it. According to the number of the days that thou shalt lie upon it, thou shalt bear their iniquity. Verse 5. For I have laid upon thee the years of their iniquity, according to the number of the days, 390 days. So shalt thou bear the iniquity of the house of Israel. Verse 6. And when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days.
So 40 days. So 390 plus 40 is what? 430, right? Go ahead.
I have appointed thee each day for a year.
And it symbolizes each day for a year. So that 430 days that he lied on each side, dealing with this siege, is symbolic of 430 years of a siege that Israel would experience, right? Read.
Verse 7. Therefore thou shalt set thy face toward the siege of Jerusalem.
Going back to the siege, read.
And thine arms shall be uncovered.
So now, let me ask you something. That siege that happened in 70 AD, or the siege with the Babylonians, any of these sieges, did they last 430 years? No. So, but what has lasted about that time? Oh, our captivity, right? So the captivity that we're experiencing is actually symbolized by the siege. So now let's go back to Deuteronomy 28 and 55, right? We're just being attacked, right? Our city is being attacked, even without Jerusalem standing. Us and the attacks against us, the various attacks against us, are a siege, right? Read.
It's the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 55. So that he will not give to any of them of the flesh of his children whom he shall eat, because he had nothing left him in the siege.
In the siege. So this is a curse that would happen in the siege when a man would leave his children, or a man would devour or eat or destroy his children. don't mean you literally had to go and cook your baby and cut your baby up and eat it.
Right.
That destruction that we bring, number one, through abandoning your child, you are destroying your child. 54 again.
This is Deuteronomy 28:54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil towards his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
We see this every day. So as we're in our siege, as we're under attack, here brothers are, his eyes evil towards his wife, his eyes evil towards his brother, his eyes evil towards his children. Right? And we experience this, and we live this every day in this attack or this siege that we're experiencing by our oppressors. Right? We're under attack and we're under siege when there's guns being pumped into our community, when there's drugs being pumped into our communities, man. Right? Do you want to know how you can end? And you know what? When you want to know about a war on drugs, here's how you can end the war on drugs and win the war. Y'all want to? Does anybody know how you can end the war on drugs? Right? I'm gonna tell you. It's simple. Start prosecuting drug addicts. If there's nobody to buy the drugs, then there's no dealers to sell the drugs. But instead, you give football numbers to drug dealers, and you give rehab programs to addicts, and as soon as they're out of the rehab program, they're back on drugs. You know why they're back on drugs? Because there's no consequences for doing drugs. If there's not a consequence for this action, why would I stop buying drugs? So you have to understand. There's a video going viral right now online. It's about the Jalisco cartel. Has anybody heard of the Jalisco cartel before? Right? The Jalisco cartel new generation, right? It's a state in Mexico called Jalisco. Right? You used to hear about El Chapo. Remember that? Remember El Chapo? Now he's going to prison and things of that nature, right? New Mike? Now he's going to prison and his wife is going to prison. So El Chapo ran something called the Sinaloa cartel, right? That's the cartel he ran. But since the power structure of the Sinaloa cartel has been taken down, there's a new emerging cartel, right? And it's called Cartel Jalisco New Generation, right? And there's a video going viral, these brothers down there in Mexico, and they got the highest military grade SWAT vehicles. I'm talking about full body armor. It looks insane what these guys have. Can somebody explain to me how these Mexicans in Jalisco got a hold of all this stuff? I'll tell you. The Central Intelligence Agency.
They set them up.
And this is a known fact. This is not a conspiracy. The government has admitted to aiding cartels. Right? Federal agencies aid cartels. Right? And what do cartels do with that aid? They arm themselves and drugs flow over the Mexican border into your country. They can stop that if they wanted, but they don't. Instead, you sell the drugs that you get from the cartel that they empower, and then they lock you up, but your customers just go and find another connect.
That's right.
So drugs has not been stopped. There's not been an effective war on drugs, right? You know why people don't smoke crack as much anymore? Because it's new stuff out. Nobody defeated crack. Crack just got played out.
Now it's Molly.
You know what I'm saying? Now they on the damn fentanyl, the damn all form of opiates, right? They drinking lean. You just saying now they're on the prescriptions. How are they getting these prescriptions? How are niggas getting all these prescriptions? Somebody's got to write these. See, Percocet, they can stop all of that. They don't. Right? And that's a way that we're besieged. That's a way we're under attack. Because they're allowing this to happen. Now I turn on a damn music video and every little nigga I see has an extended clip in a gun. Right? Now I grew up in the streets. An extended clip was like you were like, damn man, nigga got it. Like, that was a rare thing to hear about. Not everybody has it. How has that been made possible? Everybody just, there might be a couple guns on the block. Not everybody just got a gun in 3 clips. What? How does this happen? It's divisively. They are pumping that into our communities, right? They're pumping those things into our communities the same way they divisively set up a system that pushes fathers out of households, right? It's all a part of the attack on us to destroy us. And we got to wake up, right? We have to wake the hell up. But all praise, I'm going to pass it back to the officer. You got a precept? Yeah. Go ahead, hit your precept, get back, officer. Go ahead.
This book of 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his device.
We not ignorant. We can't be ignorant. We can't be ignorant of Satan and his devices. We got to know all the various ways that this devil has us under attack, right? This devil has so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans under attack in every way, and we got to study this devil because he studies you. He knows what makes you think. You're on Instagram scrolling all day. Don't you understand that all that data is being logged?
Hey, there you go.
The white man knows how long you stared at that girl's picture. He knows. He knows what clothes she likes. He knows what clothes that she wears that you like. So he makes sure that when she's scrolling, she gets the advertisements for those clothes. Right? This is not a game. This devil, man, he's on a level that we gotta really understand. Right? And we gotta wake up, man. I'm gonna get it back to the officer. Go ahead, officer.
Like you said, man, we have war, and this is something our community has to understand. This is something black people have to understand. They got all the tricks, all the trade. Matter of fact, give me the Children of Darkness or why is it? That's what we gotta realize, man. These people got all the tricks. They know all the tricks in trade. They know how to give you they know how to put drugs in the community, kill off the user with his addiction, put the drug dealer in incarcerate him for about what? Lifetime, football numbers.
100 plus a year.
100 plus years, give them football numbers. And then you know what happens? The cycle repeats again because those children that these households or the parents that was in these households are going on. So the cycle repeats itself again and again. Which shows what? It's a generational curse we're dealing with. Black people already understand we're under a generational curse. What they ain't figure out is actually from God.